I'm Leslie Ann, and I'm joined in the studio by Superintendent of Oneonta's School District, Joe Yelich. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
This is the first time we've had the pleasure of your company, and I know that it's with an important reason for voters out in the school district. The budget's coming up for a vote on May 20th, but I know there's some other things that are leading up to that.
Yes, this is true. Yesterday I had the opportunity to address Rotary. We've had a couple of different public hearings, so to speak, about the budget and its details, but we will have another opportunity on the 13th. So on Tuesday night, the 13th, at the Oneonta High School large group instruction room, we'll have our public budget hearing and present whatever information the public needs to make an informed decision.
Can they ask questions that evening?
That's an opportunity, yes,
Yeah.
and that's been open all along the way throughout our public hearing sessions during our board meetings.
Right. This is your first year.
Yes.
How's it going so far?
It's been an interesting time to come into a new school, that's for sure.
Yeah, you hit the big
education
one.
in general is facing quite a few challenges, but I'm very fortunate to have background and some experience,
Right.
a great board of education, really solid and very knowledgeable, savvy people who have decided to be on the board, and a great staff. Very fortunate to have that kind of structure. And the beauty of the town here and the city here is that there's support. There's a ton of support for our
Yes.
schools. And if you're going to face a challenge, you're going to want to be in an environment where that support network is in place. And
Yes.
I'm very lucky to have that.
Absolutely. And you have to be thrilled. I know with all this controversy with core curriculum and all of these budget things that are happening, not just this year, but in previous years leading up to this.
Right.
You have to be happy to have kind of a rose of sunshine this today with the Oneonta High School girls sports program being nominated as one of the best in the country. And we have voting on our website a link for people to get to USA
Right.
Today where they've created this contest. So far, I understand it's only the first round that they're doing well, but
Yeah.
and you can vote as often as you want. I
Yes.
discovered.
Yeah. That's it's a big piece of why we have the kind of support that we do. We are the center of the community in a lot of ways. Along with our university partners and and the towns and businesses in Main Street. We do represent quite a lot of the city, and we get a ton of support from folks. And our programs are solid, very solid. Girls have done great. They're scholar athletes.
Oh, absolutely.
Very competitive on the field and on the court, in the pool. I think pretty much everywhere we look, we see people achieving. And this is a recognition that would really be wonderful. So any support that we can get from the community beyond what they've already given,
Right.
Would be greatly appreciated.
So go to www.wzoz.com. You'll see it right on the homepage where you can vote.
Right.
So let's put that forward for sure. And then again on May 20th, budget voting time.
Right.
What are some of the key issues in the budget?
Basically, we've tried to stabilize. There have been many years of loss. And some very difficult fiscal decisions have been made over the last couple of years, including this year, to hold ground, to try to stabilize where we are. And I think this budget does that. There are some increases. There are some one-time costs that close some gaps. Our ability to purchase some textbooks, which we haven't done in 7 or 8 years now, stabilizes common approach from each building. That's very helpful. We do have to keep pace with special education rising costs. That's a reality of mandates that we must face. But then we're also in a situation where we're trying to square away the budget, keep it as flat as we can possibly make it, using the one-time revenue that we've got to manage one-time costs. We don't want to make an expenditure of something that's going to recur. And
Right.
so essentially what we're trying to do is one for one, close the gaps on things that we've lost over the years, get some stabilization, and then make some plans for growth,
Right.
program growth. Ultimately, we're not happy with where we are,
And you would like to
Ever.
see that improve.
You
Right.
know,
You're
and
always trying
you
to
always want to be
reach
better.
more.
You always want to have more. So I think that's where we really are from a from a board and from my office and from the principal's offices and then out into the departments.
Right.
We want to see what we can do more. We want to reach out, create some more partnerships, some more collaborations. Think about workforce. Think about transition to junior college or university. To make those transitions as seamless as possible,
Right.
to really create a transcript that's competitive out in the 21st century market.
Let me ask you, from where you sit, how is the state budget looking? Do you see it looking weak? Do you see it looking brighter in the near future? What's your take on that?
I think you can track on budgetary support by the year of election in a lot of times.
Right.
This is an election year. There's been a lot of support for us, but in our circumstances, we've had yearly support, regardless of the election cycle. So, we've got senators and assemblymen who care about our school and who support us with whatever grant is available, whatever support we can get. But overall, from a state standpoint, it's been a very difficult climb. I would say from 2009 to today, we're in a circumstance where we've lost about $13 million in funding.
Yeah.
And
And that
they're
is
trying
a
to close
heavy
that
hit
gap.
on a district.
But you can only imagine what great things we could have done with $13 million from a program standpoint. And I guess I want to make sure that focus stays out there, is that if dollars came in our direction, it would be for program development.
Right.
We'd want to put that there. We try to maintain our management costs, try to maintain our fiscal equipment and supplies and some of those things that accelerate kind of quickly when you've got to repair things. But I think we've got a pretty decent and very responsible capital plan to make sure that our buildings and facilities don't cost us a lot, but that we have funding for it so that we can focus our attention on program development.
If people want to find out more about the budget,
Available on the website.
OneontaCSD.org.
CSD.org.
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Yelich.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.